Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make a coiled coaster. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is grab a piece of paper, and I divided mine up into 4 separate parts here, and I came up with 4 really simple designs. So I've got an eyeball, that would be a round coaster. I've got a cactus, I would think that would be a square one. You could put a name, I'll put my last name here. This could be a freeform shape. And then I've got a cat over here, and that's also kind of a squiggly freeform shape. So basically what you're gonna need besides your drawing is a tile, which are located between the 2 sinks in the ceramics room. And then I got myself some clay from the gray clay bucket. You're gonna be using gray clay for this. And that's about it. If you want to, you can get a fettling knife, and these are good for cutting your coils, but you can also just use your fingers to pinch them. All right, so to get started, I'm gonna use this tile as my template. I don't want my coaster to be any larger than this. However, it does not have to be a square, but you do want it to fit within this parameter. Just because if it gets much bigger than this, it just doesn't look like a coaster anymore. So I've gone ahead and rolled out some coils and some different elements here. We practiced some different coils. We practiced braids and twists and short coils, long coils, all kinds of different things that you can use and incorporate into your coaster. So try to think about what you want to incorporate, and then go ahead and roll your coils out and you can get started. So I'm going to choose my cactus design that I have here. And I did a very simple design. I'm gonna make this a little bit fancier than you see here. But to get started, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna outline my cactus. So whatever my main design is in my piece, I'm gonna go ahead and try to outline that with my coil. Now, I might not have rolled this coil thin enough. It's pretty thick. So I think what I'm gonna do is roll it a little bit thinner. It's also cracking a little bit. If you're having issues with that, you can dig down to the bottom of the gray clay bucket. There's gonna be softer clay at the bottom. Try not to use really hard clay for this, but a lot of times you always have cracking anyways, even if you have soft clay, so don't be really surprised if you have a little bit of cracking. That's pretty typical. If you need to, you can always spray your clay with a little bit of water and let it soak. Okay, so I rolled this a little bit thinner. That's gonna help me to fit my cactus on here. So let's just pretend like that's the ground. Okay, and then I'm gonna try to do this in one piece. I see I got a little crack. I'm just gonna pinch that back together. Oh, my clay is cracking quite a bit. That's okay. I'm just gonna keep going. Oh my goodness, look at that. Just gonna pinch it back together. And in fact, I make that a little bit smaller while I'm at it. Okay. We're gonna fill all of this in. So the cracks are not a huge deal because we're gonna fill a lot of this in with other coils. So we don't have to worry too much about those cracks. Now I'm just shaping this the way that I want it. Keep working with it until I get the shape that I want. I want these needs to be a little bit longer, so I'm going to change this. Just replace that. I'm working with wet clay right now, so I do not have to score and slip. I'm able to just put this together without scoring and slipping. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this cactus with some little pieces of clay that I've rolled out. I like to fill the background and the shape with some different types of coils and some different things, so it gives it a little bit of visual interest. And really we're working with line as our element of art. So we see a lot of lines within this. All right. You could make a whole set of these, different designs. You could have a set of coasters to put under your drink. Use your imagination on your designs. If you get frustrated with a design, maybe it's too complicated. Sometimes I've noticed that if I make things too complicated, I can't get the lines to lay how I want, but this is looking pretty good. All right, I'm gonna keep adding coils, and I think I'm gonna add some more horizontal coils here. And I'm just breaking these with my finger. I'm just kind of pinching them, pushing them together. All right, kind of like that. Trying to think of what other coils we did. We did a twist, which was neat. So I think that I'll try to incorporate a twist. So I'm going to roll a couple of these coils pretty thin and twist them together. It wants to break, but I'm just going to keep going. And actually, I'm going to break it apart. Put it here and here. All right, I'm going to continue to fill this in a little bit. I'm making this square, but again, you can make it round or make it a different shape, a free-form shape if you want to. It's also fun to outline what you did, so I could take this and mimic that outline there. don't know how much of a cactus this is looking like, but I still like it, so I'm gonna keep going. Looks kind of like a weird flower now. Maybe it's from the flower from Mars or something. All right. And you can, of course, have some fun filling in the last little bit. So what I want to do is, after I'm done filling this in, I'm going to smooth everything out with some extra soft clay. So dig down to the bottom of the bucket. I got myself some extra soft clay, and I'm going to take this and I'm just going to start covering up my design. So the design that I'm making is actually going to show up on the other side of this. And we'll flip it over in just a minute. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And this is going to flatten it out. I'm smushing this into the cracks, but I'm not trying to smush it that hard, but just enough so that clay is kind of oozing into those areas. Okay. Now, very carefully, I'm going to pick this up from my tile. Maybe I am. Gotta dislodge it here. Thinking maybe I should have put a plastic bag under this. Okay. So what you can do, and what I would advise, and I didn't do, I kind of skipped that step, was there's plastic bags over where the tiles are, and just build this on top of the plastic bag, and then you won't have as hard of a time as I did getting the darn thing off, okay? You're gonna need the plastic bag, so you can just keep that. Now, I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit. And then once I get everything cleaned up, I'm going to put it back on my tile. And I'm going to put it in my plastic bag. And close it up, and I'll have it for next week, and we'll finish it up. All right, so that is how you make a coil coaster. Thanks, guys.